Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to our YouTube Live, folks. Perhaps the real estate market in your hometown or country is dead. Not sure. Not giving you the proper ROI. No opportunities for capital gain, or even more importantly, because that's the new theme in international real estate, is positive cash flow. So it's not necessarily capital gain, but positive cash flow for your passive income strategy, or it perhaps your local market seems too gloomy or maybe saturated or about to pop or just flat out not do anything. You want to plan on investing in other markets to diversify, plan on investing and owning property abroad, but think you need hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions to start. That's the furthest point from the truth, folks. In this eye-opening live session today, we'll show you the best countries and markets where you can secure international real estate starting at $50,000 down in 2026 or even lower. From consolidated markets to hidden gems, we'll break down exactly where your money goes furthest and how to make it happen in very investor-friendly markets and growing real estate potential. Who's this live stream for? Aspiring international investors, digital nomads planning their base, or anyone curious about diversifying into global real estate without having seven-figure net worth or liquidity. Maybe you do have investments and you want to ride out this whole stock market AI boom, and you're like, I want to minimize real estate, but I want to invest in somewhere where I'm not going to lose money. The payment plans are very flexible and friendly, and I can make money in my original source of income and yet diversify, invest, and get positive passive cash flow in the future, having a good balanced portfolio from stocks, bonds, technology, you name it, and real estate, of course. What you'll discover today in our live stream, remember, no editing, no special effects, nothing, and no censorship. That's what we love about this. Live and raw. Top destinations for accessible entry points for foreign buyers. No need to have residency. You could if you want to, or you could not. It's completely up to you. Markets where $50,000 can get you a foothold into that market, not just a fantasy for real estate. So you don't need to be an ultra high net worth investor. Any Joe Blow with a crypto or credit line or credit card could literally invest with these markets and real estate projects that we're covering today. Of course, there's higher end, lower end, medium. We're covering the ones that we think are the easiest and lowest entry points. And of course, you can get in touch with us in case whatever you're looking for is maybe not in today's live stream, but we've got everything in the whole spectrum: legal pathways, financing, and residency perks, red flags to avoid, and real examples of properties currently available in these price ranges and actual projects that we're covering today. We'll skip the introductions today and get right down to it. We don't want to waste your time. And no, we're not looking for YouTube ads to make money on this and to try to make this video way too long than it should be. Of course, everyone knows you can invest in pre-construction and off-plan real estate projects, condos, apartments, townhouses, and all that without putting all the money up front. That's common knowledge, but that's not the point of this live stream. Why this topic would interest you is that A, the prices of real estate in the markets we're covering are low, allowing the deposit installment plans to be extremely affordable. Some developers have post-completion financing options in-house, not through the bank or not through mortgages, which gives you an extended timeline, so you don't need to actually have all the money to pay, even when the project is completed. Can you say that about your existing markets where you are? And you can get help from your tenants to pay off the rest. We have a very specific example later in this video to do that. We're covering these two markets today, Panama and Dubai. And it doesn't necessarily mean those are the only markets we're in or that we're offering, but these are quite, let's say, flexible. Why do we call it why are we covering these two markets? Growing markets in terms of real estate growth and demand. That's important. Is there a high demand in Los Angeles now? There was. I'm not sure about the future. Is there high demand in Miami? Of course, but is it affordable? Is there high demand in Canada? Definitely not. So you have to consider growing markets. That's why we picked Panama and Dubai. Solid ROI for passive cash flow in a stable currency, US dollars. In Dubai, their AED, Arab Emirates dirham, is pegged to the US dollars for God knows how many years. And in the Panama economy, the whole thing is based on US dollar. It's a dollarized economy system. So everything is US dollars. Tax friendly. Yeah. Dubai has zero income tax. Panama has a territorial tax system, meaning any of your income earned from overseas is tax freely and very investor friendly, including payments from any nationality or any country being able to come in and out freely without too many regulatory hurdles. Crypto friendly, yes. Even the developers. Super safe cities, yes. You want to invest in where places people are moving to for jobs, lifestyle, weather, and safety. You could be investing in places where the weather is nice and it's affordable, but if there's cartel wars and generally geopolitical wars, then what's so safe about that? Where's the demand, right? You want to go super safe. Dubai, UAE, safe. Panama City, the safest city in the continent of America. I challenge you to challenge me back. On a major metropolitan city, I'm not talking about villages or towns here, that would be safer in North or Central or South America than Panama City. And either the property prices are extremely affordable, or these developers that we work with have post-completion in-house financing options, which means you don't actually need 100% of the property value available. And that's what we're covering today. Of course, there's other markets as well, but either taking money in and out of these markets is a bit trickier, more regulatory hurdles, currency risks, we don't want that, or the property prices are just high, in which case the deposits and down payments are significantly higher than the target budget that we're talking about today for you. Let's start with Panama. Apartments and townhouses range from 200,000 to 400,000 as a rough average. We're talking about Panama City. We're not talking about Panama as general, because you can, of course, buy significantly lower priced properties around Panama, but we're talking about Panama City, where all that global hustle and bustle, the infrastructure, the investments, the foreign investors are coming to, and where all the multinationals and businesses, over 500,000 private companies registered in Panama, and a lot of the major headquarters of the major brands in Latin America are in Panama City. Okay, similar to like Dell, Samsung, Nestle, and so on, just to give you a few names. We're talking about downtown condo living for these price ranges, ocean view lofts, brand new, folks, townhouses and gated private communities, or even white sand beachfront townhomes an hour away from Panama City, and everything in between. 75% of the Panama City market is pre-construction off-plan projects for new units, if you want to move into a new unit, which every major developer has in their pipeline. Of course, you can buy ready project, but then you would need to depend on financing through the bank or have all the money. So the purpose of this live is to go over the structures of investments with very little down and installment plans, so you can get in with very low budget. In Panama City right now, all major developers take anywhere from 10 to 20% deposit and up to 30% upon completion. What does this mean? Until completion. What does this mean for you? Apartments in the locations such as Bella Vista, San Francisco, Coco del Mar, or even Costa del Este can range anywhere from 300 to 400,000, depending on whether they're hotel residence, which comes fully furnished with appliances and allows short-term rentals, or they're regular condos or apartments, which are not fully furnished or have appliances yet and are for medium to long-term rentals. In Panama City, that means 45 days plus. Keep in mind that in Panama, new condos and real estate do not automatically come with appliances, unlike the rest of North America, Europe, and Middle East. Those are additional, which you can purchase through the developer at a higher cost, or even through us at wholesale. For the Aurora project, here's an example, which is centrally located in Bella Vista, a high demand area for investors, potential landlords, and of course tenants. The deposits to sign and secure a unit would be $42,150, balance due on completion. Okay, so that means $42,150 is when you sign the reservation, not the reservation, the purchase sale agreement, and then And then the balance you will pay in 2028 when the project is done. The reservation amount is just $1,000. But of course, when you sign after the reservation on the purchase sale agreement, you do need to pay 10%, which is what this project is offering you. You'll need to pay this initial deposit, which is 15%. My apologies, 15%, which comes out to $42,150, and you can of course deduct the $1,000 that you paid through your credit card as a reservation. This deposit can range from $42,150 on signing to $60,150 for larger, higher price units in the same project. So depending on the floor, the view, the size, how many bedrooms. Keep in mind that this project, okay, correction, is not in Bella Vista, is in San Francisco area of Panama City, centrally located between Punta Pacifica Multiplaza Mall, which is the nicest mall in the city, and Costa del Este. And some units even have ocean view, so it's very close to the coast. This is appropriate for medium to short-term rentals. Completion date is end of 2028. This means you start with a 15% deposit on signing of the purchase sale agreement. Balance of 15% is due during the construction period. So it's about 2.5 years from the making of this live stream. So you pay 15% when you sign the agreement to finalize the purchase, and then 15%, they have a payment plan for 2.5 years. So 30% until completion. Okay, so that's $42,150 to start with their smaller units on signing. The balance 70%, of course, is on completion, which you can then decide to pay in full or arrange financing with even a local Panamanian bank, which also offers financing to non-residents. This is very common in Panama, hence being very investor friendly. Can you do that in another jurisdiction like US or Canada? Easily. I'm not talking about knowing people and knowing all the loopholes and having a financial footprint in these countries. Nothing. You just show them some documents of your income in your home country, and voila, you can get up to 50, even sometimes 60% financing as a non-resident when you're purchasing in Panama. Of course, if you rent it out, you can expect 6 to 7% at least gross ROI to help you cover the installments of the bank financing post-completion. If that's your ultimate goal, if you're not paying with your own liquid funds on completion, which again is end of 2028. As well, you can contract assignment and sell it off as on a contract basis to a potential other buyer in case you don't want to close on the project. Keep in mind those have inherent risks, but so the developer does charge 3% in case you want to get rid of the contract and sell it to somebody else. But we don't recommend that. If you get in, we always recommend to finish. The whole world has basically changed from a flipping market on like selling assignments and contracts for pre-construction. The purpose is to get in, complete do the completion title transfer, rent it out if you want to, or use it if you like. But it's got very low entry and the locations are prime. In another super popular location in Panama City is Bella Vista, close to all the hustle and bustle with very strong tenant demand and community accessibility around the city. This is what we call prime location. The Soul project, it's called Soul, SOUL, is located here and is under construction as we speak, and the deposit is slightly higher, but no installments during construction until final completion. And it's fully furnished with appliances and considered a licensed building for short-term rentals, such as Airbnb. This type of building units are very high demand in Panama City right now. With a location like Bella Vista, a higher premium has to be paid, but still cheaper than what you're probably paying for an equivalent property in your home country or your current country residence. And these prices, again, are ranging from $400,000 plus. So you're starting with $40,000 deposit to $50,000 and $60,000 until completion. So depending on the size of the unit, the floor of the unit, you can get into a very good project, fully furnished, fully appliance, Airbnb short-term rental, prime location, Bella Vista. And again, when you work with our office, we can get you additional discounts because we squeeze the developer. If you're paying in crypto, we've offset any off-ramping conversion costs that you did have for fiat currency conversion. Okay. And of course, we help with the banking. We can open a bank account for you within 2 to 3 days. internationally in Panama. And of course, if you want residency, we can guide you through it because we've got our own legal team. We have our own people on the ground that will take to Z for you. And of course, we've got property management services, banking, the works, and of course, closing costs, and doing power of attorneys if you cannot travel there. So everything is handled turnkey if you wish us to do so. What about Costa del Este oceanfront projects? Yeah, Costa del Este, one of the most highly sought after properties and locations in Panama City. That's where all the multinationals are, the expats, thousands of companies, and it's a brand new field. Costa del Este is like, well, interesting enough, I don't know, but over 20 years ago, it was like a garbage dump. Literally, the city wanted to revamp and recreate this area. So they converted the garbage dump into a brand new neighborhood, which is now the highest demand neighborhood. So it looks brand new, looks like Dubai style, right? And now it's also one of the most expensive neighborhoods. What was Dubai before it became Dubai? It was a desert. It was a desert. Yes, folks, it was a desert. There was nothing. It was sand and sun, nothing. Okay, not even barely roads. And now it's Dubai. Costa del Este is kind of like that, except it was a garbage dump, but it's right oceanfront. Like it's right there. It's beautiful ocean. $5,000 reservation deposit with your credit card or cash. 10% of signing of the contract, which is about $28,470 for one bedroom plus one bath, approximately 781 square feet, which is a starter package, a smaller unit, and 20% payment during the construction period. So of course, a 2 and 3 bedroom units are higher, and you may start with a $30,000 to $42,000 deposit on the purchase sales signing and a balance 20% completion until the end of 2028. So again, from now on to then, we're talking about 2.5 years. This is probably the best location you can buy in Panama City at the moment without breaking the bank, like going and putting millions in Ocean Reef Island, Santa Maria, or Punta Pacifica being the most expensive in the city. This specific project in Costa del Este is beachfront, has a spa, wellness center, yoga center, boxing, TRX training room, gym, spinning zone, Olympic-sized swimming pool, jacuzzi, aquatic yoga, sea lounge, running track, club area, cinemas, sports bar, barbecue area, fire pits, outdoor lounges, two tennis courts, one soccer field, 2 basketball courts, children's dedicated playground, teen and youth TV lounge, adults lounge room, kids cove, recreation and game room, event room, and dedicated kids pool. So basically, you're living in a modern, chic oceanfront building, which feels like it has its own private country club. The only thing missing is a golf course. Voila. The developer also offers up to 5% per year discount if investors choose to pay all up front for the unit, offsetting any potential interest they may have been able to earn from the bank locally in Panama if they just put a deposit, certified deposit or long-term deposit. And remember, if you pay with crypto and work with our office, we offset your conversion and off-ramping fees, which developers usually charge at 1.5% to 2%. We open up an international offshore bank account for you. We take care of the entire process. And of course, you want residency, we've got in-house expertise. We're not a regular real estate. We are a diversified international real estate and residency citizenship company. And I'll explain to you what that means later on. Another interesting project we have is Zeta, located in Coco del Mar, which has an amazing ocean views in that area. It's one of my favorites because it's also quite affordable, and it's located between Costa del Este and downtown Panama City. And remember, Panama City is small. Within 15-20 minutes, you go from point to point. And Uber is super cheap, so I never rent a car. It's a mixed residential and commercial neighborhood with a young vibe, right? You can do a deposit on the purchase sale agreement, 10 to 20%, right? This is not the reservation. This is the actual purchase sale agreement. And balance due, which is 80% on completion. This project, because it's 100 units, it's quite a high rise for that neighborhood, is being completed in 2030. So you've got around a cool, crisp 4 years. So you owe 80% then. You just bought the whole, you locked it in with the 10 to 20% during this construction period. This project has mixed use office and residential units, has over 100 units. It's a high rise. The developer can consider interest discounts per year to be discounted from your price if you pay up front, or you can decide to pay the deposit, and then your money, even the 10-20%, will be protected by a dedicated trust account under your name in INGWE Bank, which will not be released to the developer until title transfer. These protections for all of our clients, for all of our projects in Panama are available. Trust accounts to protect your investment. So anything happens, because you never know. Nothing's 100% in life. Okay, no project, no real estate investment, no investment at all is 100%. Not even AI. The companies you invest in AI are 100%, right? If anything happens, that trust account holds your payment and will not be released until the project is complete and title transfer is done. So it mitigates the risk for you in buying pre-construction in Panama. The deposit of 10 to 20% for this project can range anywhere from $25,000 to $35,000 for typical, studio 1 and 2 bedroom apartments, because it's quite affordable. And of course, the larger the units, the higher the deposit or the value. The same developer has a Square 72 project, that's the name, located in San Francisco as well, which has won several awards for its design because of its Danish architect. Completion date is 2027. There's 72 units. They're all between 72 to 89 square meters. It's a low rise with excellent design, award-winning, as I said, amenities and location with early completion date. If you're looking for the next year and a half, San Francisco is also a great investment for rental income and prime location. As we've covered, in a lot of the locations we've covered are also prime, because we do not sell garbage. Okay. Now let's not drown ourselves with Panama City fully and jump to Dubai. Why we like Dubai is the flexibility, the demand, the brand, the huge influx of professionals, digital nomads, investors, money, and of course, multimillionaires. Here's the flexibility we're talking about. You purchase pre-construction in Dubai, off-plan one of these projects, and you can still obtain a 10-year golden visa with the post-completion package. You don't actually need to pay the 2 million dirhams to own a property in Dubai. 2 million AED, Arab Emirate dirhams, which is the local currency, is approximately 544,000 US dollars. That's the threshold for the golden visa. If you don't care about the golden visa, then forget it. You don't need to buy at any specific minimum investment threshold. But if you do, and with a 25% deposit in a pre-construction, you can obtain that 10-year unlimited golden visa, which is renewable as well, and live and reside in UAE if you choose to within the 10 years, or not even choose to, and you could just hold it. We all know Dubai is all about bling and expensive real estate. Recently, having sold an off-plan penthouse for over 150 million dirhams. That's over $40 million, which would be ready in 3-4 years. So they've broken some records. I didn't sell that penthouse, but I'm just telling you, that's the kind of bling that exists in Dubai. You can have rents that are $1 million a year. Yes, folks, look at the Atlantis, the new project that was completed 2-3 years ago. Their top floors in their residences are $1 million rent. Okay. But even for the investors who doesn't plan on buying a penthouse, there are affordable options out there with super flexible payment plans that we're covering today. Just consider Arisha Terraces, located in Dubai Studio City. It's a mixed commercial residential area with less residential units available versus the commercials, making it quite an interesting new neighborhood in Dubai. The prices are very affordable, making this very easy for low budget to invest in and post-completion financing. I'll explain to you. 2-bedroom units start with, smart automation system, fully appliance with Bosch appliances, semi-furnished. Price starts at $449,877 for a 1,130 square feet apartment. Handover, Q4 2027. Live camera on site where you can log in anytime to see the construction progress day and night. Even right now, you can go into the project and see what's going on. Payment plans, 45% during construction and 2-year post handover for the balance, 60% of the unit. This is not a bank financing, but rather an internal financing arranged by the developer for its clients. When you work with us, you'll also get special perks and additional discounts on these projects and many more. With over 100 developers, we have around 20 different countries and jurisdictions around the world. Remember, folks, you don't even need to be a resident of Dubai to get this special financing from the developers. So to put it to put this project in Dubai in a nutshell, you pay $202,610 during the 2-year construction period until completion, while with 5% deposit to start if you don't care about the golden visa. If you do, you got to go with 25%. If you don't care about the immigration or residency, you just start with 5%. 5% is significantly lower, right? What is 5%? It's $23,000. Voila. And then you'd start with a deposit of 112,000, which qualifies you for the 10-year. If you decide to do the golden visa, you start with $112,469. If not, you start with approximately $24,000 deposit. Then you pay the balance until the completion and finance until Q4 2029. Okay. That's crazy. You can rent it out and basically cover your maintenance costs, installment costs, making you a proud owner of a 2-bedroom unit in prime Dubai with very little down. Okay. So I'm talking about the project will finish in Q2 2027, but the post-completion and financing will extend your timeline to Q4 2029. So that's an extra 2 years. And that's why I'm saying that you can rent it out and basically cover all your costs, your installments to the developer, and then you own it at the end with very little down. Zero tax on personal income in Dubai. Easy to open a personal bank account. If you don't want to reside or go through immigration, then it can all be taken care of remotely. Of course, we usually recommend a 1-day trip. And if you really hate traveling, we can find a way to get all this out. How about this other project in Dubai? Sky Views, production city right across Jumeirah Village Triangle by Al Khail Road, which has developed a lot over the last 6 to 8 years. What's so special about this Dubai of Plan project? Great developer, completion Q4 2028. All units, even the smaller studio units, have a plunge pool in their balconies. Every single unit in this building has a plunge pool in their balcony. And it's always sunny. See, Panama and Dubai, they're always sunny, right? I mean, Panama, you get the 2 hours rain. And in Dubai, sure, you get like scorching summer heat in the summer and some sandstorms once in a while. But at the end of the day, it's 99% outdoor living. 20% deposit on this project, 10% in 1 year. So it means 30%. And 1% every month for 70 months. Okay, folks, that's 6 years and 10 months post-completion. So did you get that? Rewind. 20% deposit, right? When you do the purchase sale agreement. 10% in a year after. So you've got 30%, right? And 1% every month after the handover is done, which is 6 years, 10 months. That's crazy. This internal financing by the developer and no need to apply for a bank. No residency required in the UAE to get that in internal financing. So basically, you want a small studio. The total cost is $212,497. You only pay $42,499 on deposit, $21,249 in a year after you sign and pay the deposit. And then the balance is $2,124.97 a month post-completion every month, which you can rent out and it will cover those expenses and installments. So what I'm basically trying to explain to you is that with a total of $63,749.14, not even paying it all at once, you can become a proud homeowner in prime Dubai while your tenant or you paid installments for 6 years, 10 months post-handover move-in date. Can anywhere compete with that? In your home country, do you get that kind of financing? Or does your developer bank, are they flexible? Or are they going to charge you an arm and a leg on some interest? Mortgages. Remember, folks, mortgages have a Latin word called mort, and it means death. If you didn't know, mortgages mean death. I don't know why they came up with that name for the banks, but it kind of makes sense, right? But this is not a mortgage. This is a developer financing you. Of course, higher budgets can get you a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom apartments with their plunge pools at 750 square feet to 1,100 square feet, depending on whether you want the larger 2 bedrooms. Perfect for investors looking for tenants or just buying as backup for yourself, perhaps your children. You can't beat the price or the payment plan or the flexibility on this one. Okay, I think I've told you enough and given you some solid examples of what you can afford with anywhere from 30 to 60,000 in these growing investor-friendly and low-compliance regulatory markets that don't care where you're from or how you if you're coming to live there, if you're non-resident or whatnot, and you can cash out and move your money without any questions asked. That's what I like about international friendly nations. Keep in mind, closing costs in Panama can be anywhere from $2,000 to $2,850 for an apartment or villa, and the price ranges we covered. And in Dubai, it's slightly higher because you have to pay 4% on all purchases to the Dubai Land Department transfer fee. So even if you're buying pre-construction, you do need to pay that 4% upfront. Even if you're buying ready project, you need to pay that 4% upfront on closing, or even on the purchase sale contract. Plus an additional approximately $1,000. There's knowledge fees, administrative, and legal. That's for Dubai. And of course, we can offer discounts for all of our clients and squeeze the developer and get the banks to work with you and get our property management helping you out. And of course, if you want residency, that's all in-house. So we're not going to send you to Joe Blow here, go to Bob there, go to Greg there. We're talking about everything in-house through us, through our contacts, through our network partners. We have over 100 developers, each of them offering at least 2, 3 to 5 projects in 20 different countries and jurisdictions from Europe, Mediterranean, Dubai, and we're coming up with Qatar soon, US, Houston, Texas, Atlanta, California, Nevada, Las Vegas, Miami, Panama City, and of course, even in Canada, if you're crazy enough to invest here. I'd have to do a 10-hour live stream to cover it all. I just want to keep you in the loop and open your horizons. Are you still investing in just your own local market? That's like investing in your own local stock market, and you don't live in New York City, and you've never invested in the NASDAQ or the NYSE or other international markets. Well, you need to open up your eyes, folks. At INGWE Investment Migration, our firm, we're not real estate brokers and not generic visa advisors. We integrate investment due diligence, immigration compliance, international financial footprint creation, and international investments, long-term global planning. We empower you to make decisions with confidence and ease, guiding you every step of the way. The whole thing, whether you're looking for vacation property, rental income, strategic investment, or a place to call your new home, or maybe your second home, plan B, this is what we offer with our services. We're not a regular residency or immigration company. We're not a regular real estate company. We are a hybrid. We're very unique. We're very niche, and we do boutique services. Okay. We've got Nasreen saying hello, Residue. Thank you, Rosita, for joining in today. And of course, we're here every Thursday, 11:30 a.m. North America Eastern Standard Time, which is local time in Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, New York, Miami, New Jersey, Michigan, wherever you are, right? We're here every week, talking about different subjects, different markets, different investment opportunities, and things where you can get something in return for your real estate investment. Is it ROI? Is it diversification? Is it a tax-friendly jurisdiction? Is it a residency, a tax residency? Is it a citizenship? Because we'll cover that as well. So they have to give you something in return. Why are you investing in markets which are not giving you ROIs, which are not friendly, which are not tax-friendly either, and they're not even rolling out the red carpet for you, and you're not getting anything in return? This is what we're offering. We handpick the best, and we bring it for you, and we're there all the way to the end. We're just not offering you the real estate. We're offering you all the calculations, the closing costs, the ROI. We can offer the property management. We can offer the residency. We can open bank accounts for you internationally. You name it, we've got it. Because I personally lived and resided and worked in invested in over 7 to 10 jurisdictions around the world. I lost track. I started in Tehran, then I lived in Germany, then I lived in Vancouver, then I lived in Montreal, then I lived in Toronto, then I lived in Dubai, and I also invested. I had a residence in Cyprus. I was looking to move to Miami. I did some business there, didn't move for personal reasons, and now I'm also in Panama at the same time. So, and we've invested in Turkey as well. Besides that, I even don't keep track of all these things anymore. But the point being, I've been there, I've done it all, and I know it. I don't mean I know everything, but all I'm saying is that if you haven't personally resided or invested in these jurisdictions, or if you want somebody to handhold you throughout the process, we're here to help. And we don't sell you BS. We tell you everything up front, all the costs, everything transparent, the risks versus the rewards, and you make the decision, right? You have to know the upside and the downside, and we actually provide you that. There's no perfect investment. There's no perfect program. There's no perfect country. Is there anything perfect in this world? Well, lately I've realized no. Folks, see you next Thursday. Great seeing you. Thanks again. And remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. Because in 20 years from now, you're like, wow, should have invested 20 years ago. Thanks, folks. Take care. See you next live next Thursday. And you can bring your questions and comments to our live stream anytime. Thanks again, folks. Take care.